Hello and welcome to the Blackout Podcast, where I get to talk to amazing people who do amazing things. And today have awesome human being Mukisa, one half of Fem Entity, in the studio today. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I love the name Mukisa.
Yeah.
And one thing I always do when I have someone with a name that isn't English, I kind of ask. It has a meaning, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what does it mean?
So it means gift from God.
What language is it?
Luganda.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
Uganda is the country, Luganda is the language.
Yeah.
But yeah, or like blessing, you know.
Gifts from God. Okay. So, thanks for coming on the show today. Let's get it going.
Let's get into it.
First off, so what do you currently do now?
Okay, so I finished law school and I'm articling. Most people don't know what articling is, but it's basically just a work term after to train to become a lawyer.
Yeah, I remember the first time I heard article, I thought it's like a newspaper article.
I don't know why they call it articling, just fancy lawyer terms, but yeah, I'm training to become a lawyer, essentially.
Have you always, is that what you always wanted to be growing up?
Well, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a vet because I really liked puppies. And then I wanted to be a psychologist. So when I went to university, my parents really wanted me to be a doctor. I was like, you know what? The closest thing to doctor is psychologist. But I think I really always wanted a career that helped people. And I was a really big advocate for mental health. I mean, I still am through Fem Entity too. So I thought psychologist was like the natural career path. But then I found that with being a psychologist, it really is up to the person to help themselves. And
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Well, I feel like a psychologist can, you can go to therapy, but there's still that like inner work that you need to do to really help yourself.
Right. So if I go to a therapist, I still have to do work.
There's still homework.
Gotcha.
And if you don't do that homework,
you're just wasting your money.
Of that. So I wanted to have a little bit more control and power to make change. So that's why I chose law school.
Okay, so there is this whole thing about people hating lawyers. Where do you think that's from?
Oh yeah, just the other day I met somebody new and one of my coworkers was like, "Oh, these are the liars," instead of lawyers. I was like, "Come on, there's some honest lawyers.
Yeah,
there are lawyers with integrity. I think I would like to be one of those." But yeah, I really went in for social justice and really like fighting for racial justice specifically. So I'm like so grateful to be in a place where I can do that. I work at the Elizabeth Fry Society.
What do they do there?
They help criminalized women. So from the time that you're charged with a crime to like just helping through trial and sentencing as well. We just make sure that the court is considering a gendered lens. Yeah.
Isn't that already like considered like, isn't that like,
I mean, let's put it this way. If you're going through the court system as a Black person, and I were to say, I help people consider a racialized lens, would you ask that question?
Right.
There are definitely an ideal that the courts want to aspire to, but we sort of help to point out the biases that happen, and just help the court actually see that.
Well, how did you find out? How did you find out about this society, and what made you decide? I mean, apart from it's important to you, what other reason made you decide to work with Elizabeth Fry?
Yeah, I think I didn't really take the traditional career path, but in my first year of summer after my first year of law school, I got an internship, but I got to choose my internship, and I didn't know what to do. So I was thinking about doing like legal aid. But I went to this conference and I was talking to this lawyer and she suggested the Elizabeth Fry Society. She's also a Black woman, a lawyer in the Department of Justice, and she suggested the Elizabeth Fry Society, and it was just such a good match. Now I'm finished law school and I'm still working there. And Yeah, so
Oh.
it was a really good fit. And I get to do a lot of work with African Nova Scotian clients and Black clients. And that's really where I wanted to be. So,
Okay, so as a lawyer now, you are, I guess, seeing your impact felt directly as opposed to what the person would have to do on their own terms. Have you, I mean, I don't know if you've dealt with this, but why do you think that some people find it uncomfortable dealing with lawyers?
I think that the field of law is a very prestigious, I guess, or perceived as prestigious. Well, I guess it is a profession. I don't know. I really struggle with power structures. That's why I speak like that.
Why?
I don't know, but
okay.
when I say I'm a lawyer or I'm becoming a lawyer, people are kind of like, "Whoa,
Oh, yeah,
you're a
yeah,
lawyer."
yeah.
It's like we're put on such a pedestal that I feel like not everybody is used to that sort of power dynamic. Or if you are in contact with the legal system or need a lawyer, it's because you're in trouble, you know? So there's a lot that's going on in people's minds around that.
But like, okay, I mean, so with the Elizabeth Fry Society, your work is helping criminalize women and African Nova Scotians, but like, you are a Black woman yourself. Like, what are some things you've dealt with being a Black woman in Nova Scotia?
That is a loaded question, Israel. I would say, like, what I've seen is just unfair treatment for Black people. So I don't even know where to begin, but just how the criminal justice system looks at women in particular, it's from a very, I guess, patriarchal and almost like paternal lens. And we just really want to stress like treating everybody with the same level of respect and dignity. So that's what we do at the Elizabeth Fry Society. But I just see a lot of unfairness. So I think me being there on the other side, a lot of the times Black women and just Black people in general are viewed in the court system as the accused, right? They're in these positions where they're going to jail. So I think for me, it makes an impact of me being in sort of a position of power in those rooms and being able to advocate for other people and bring people to the table. So also with the Elizabeth Fry Society, I travel to the federal prison, the federal women's prison once a month, and we just do prison monitoring.
Where is that?
It's in Truro.
Oh, I lived in Truro. I actually know about that place. Never mind.
Yeah,
I know where it is.
yeah. It's like, you don't think of it much, but
Right,
yeah. So we just go in
yeah.
to chat with prisoners, see if there's anything they need, see if there's anything going on. You definitely see racism, you know, but we just like write advocacy letters just to say like, hey, like we're watching, you know, so you can't get away with this and that. And like, this is what the law is.
So what is the process for law school? Like you do your university for how many years? Then you go for law school. What like, I guess, you know, you're learning all these things. I never understood this.
So much learning.
Yeah, but
So
like
long
you've
learning.
gone through all these things in university. What like what happens in law school? You know, like what else
Just
are they
magic, I guess.
what else are they teaching you there? Like
Yeah. So my background, I did a Bachelor of Science in psychology and I did a double major in international development. Like I said earlier, I wanted to be a psychologist at first, but then they told me that I would have to do stats and more math. And I was like, I'm finished with this. So I just had just enough credits to do a double major.
wait, what you're doing now, there's gotta be stats involved though.
In a different way of like actually calculating the stats. I cannot do that. I can read them and interpret them.
Oh, okay. I see
do
what you mean.
research.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I switched to international development, and that was really just like really preparing me for law school. I feel like a lot of like reading and writing, political interpretation, articles, research mainly. And then in law school, it's just like more research and learning about the laws. And, you know, law, they make it's like its own language almost. Actus reus, mens rea. There's all this Latin.
Yeah.
And they make things really, really complicated.
And
So that you have to
freaking
go
contracts
to
are
law
always
school
long.
to learn it.
Oh, okay.
So that's what they're teaching us.
Wait, so something just jumped into my mind now. So one of the biggest law cases that's happened recently is what's his name now?
Roe v. Wade?
No, not that one. Oh. Well, this one is big, but I was going to touch that one, but I want to start with something light before we get to.
Okay.
But this one is not that light either. It's the actor, Johnny Depp.
Oh.
So, I don't understand kind of what happened there. I don't really follow it, but if he'd already lost a case in a different country, isn't this, doesn't that kind of negate any other thing?
No. So you're subject to the laws of, I guess the country or the state even that you're in. So between even the states, in the US, they have different laws, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't keep too close of an eye on it, but it was a defamation case because Amber Heard, I think she wrote an article about being in in a relationship of domestic abuse. And then obviously Johnny Depp was like, that's clearly about me. That's defamation. So he brought a case against her for defamation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to start with the low ball, then the Roe v. Wade thing. What's happening there? I mean, it's already changed, I guess, but how?
Yeah, so basically they overturned the law that protected women's reproductive rights, which is honestly devastating. It really is going backwards. Taking away our rights is not what the law is supposed to do. It's supposed to protect them. So this was a really big loss in the States.
Wow, I'm learning a lot.
You're with the lawyer. I'll be billing you for this, by the way.
That was going to be the next thing. How does that work, though? Because, so Suits, do you know this TV show?
Yeah, Suits. It's funny, now that I know what they're saying, I'm none of this makes any sense.
Right?
It's really funny. They just throw out big words.
Yeah. I was watching with a friend of mine as a lawyer, and that's what they said. But it's a drama, right? So they have to dramatize it. But
actually, in law school, they showed a clip of Suits, and they were like, this is what not to do.
But I brought up Suits because of the money.
Cash money.
Yeah. So the billing thing, when does it kick in? You know what I'm saying?
So billing is mainly for private law firms. They bill for every 6 minutes of work that they do.
So 6 minutes in the hour. Because what is this thing? I incorporated my company. I'm like, fuck, this is just a printout.
Oh, and they billed you? Yeah. Some places have flat fees for incorporation or real estate deals. It depends. So not everywhere is the same.
Right.
But for some matters, they bill every 6 minutes. Can you imagine the money that you would make? Yeah, it's funny because I got a different perspective because during my articling, I got to switch from 3 different law firms. So I was at Elizabeth Fry, but I was also with Valent Legal, which is a personal injury firm. And they don't do billing. They do work on contingency. When
we win, you will get the money and shit. I love the ads.
When you get the
I love the ads on TVC. People hate ads. I love ads. I do.
What about the bus ads of the lawyer and 1-800-JUSTICE?
Man,
you calling them?
No. I don't want you to call just for the entertainment purposes. Yeah. But the personal injury lawyers, their ads are always crazy.
So funny. It's really comical.
Okay, so you did a personal injury lawyer.
Personal injury law firm, and where I am now is Weldon McGuinness, and they're kind of full service. So I've been doing a lot of property and corporate work, but I come from a nonprofit. So I come from really humble beginnings where we don't have a lot of resources. We definitely don't have extra. We're not billing every we just get things done. We don't really look at time like that. But now that I am, I'm like almost like afraid to bill. I'm like, oh my gosh, I spent so much time on this. It's going to cost the client. My boss is like, no, put all of your time in there. Your time is valuable. And I'm like, wow, it's such a different way of thinking.
Right. So what's the plan now? Like once you're done with all this and then you're a lawyer, like call to bar, is that?
Yes. So my call to the bar is November.
Nice.
Finishing up this bar course.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to still stay with Elizabeth Fry or are you going to go
right now I am with Weldon McGuinness. So I'm learning the corporate and the property stuff, which is interesting. But I got hired back with Elizabeth Fry. So I'll be there in October. So
you don't want the money?
Great question. And my parents would agree with that question. But yeah, I just am really passionate about the work that I do at Elizabeth Fry.
Okay, I will let you go with this one. Though. Why is that important to you?
It's always been important to me to have a lot of meaning and purpose in my career. So I wanted to intentionally choose a field where I could feel good about the work that I do.
Wow. You want to be able to sleep and like, go to sleep at night and not be like, oh man. Okay, I said that was the last question. I lied though. I have this one. When like how would you, I don't hope this never happens, but you get to a point where, because of the law, there's really nothing you can do to help this person, right?
Yeah, see, that's also the good thing about Elizabeth Fry because it's a charity, so we have other services. Law is not the only thing we provide.
Okay.
So maybe if we can't help you with your legal situation, we can refer you to a social worker who can help you with housing.
Wow.
Or we can help you with even groceries, stuff like that. Yeah, so, or like therapy. We have a lot of different services that hopefully our client feels cared for in some way.
Wow, okay. The world needs more people like you.
Oh, thank you so
much. And less people that meet us like, get the money! Get the money!
I mean, I saw that Audie, so I do respect that.
Thanks for coming to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.